I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. So Tucker Carlson has, there was an earthquake on Monday. Now this is Wednesday, dating this message. And he's still the big talk of the town of what happened, why he got fired. Somebody alluded to the fact that Rupert Murdoch was engaged to this woman who was this fancy, if you will, modeling, big-time person, and Rupert was 92 years old, getting ready to marry this young woman. And somebody said she was looking at Tucker Carlson. That's why I fired. I don't believe that. I believe that Rupert Murdoch fired Tucker Carlson because he's getting ready to make a move that will acquiesce to LGBTQ. But however, listen, let me say that. Mr. Engineer, we have a clip, right? Bring up the clip, and then I have another article that I want to read about Tucker Carlson as well, because he's still a hot story in cable news, and I'm in cable news as well, in case you didn't know. By the way, I put in my, tell Fox News that if they're looking for an extraordinary person to fill that 8 o'clock slot, check me out. James David Manning, you can get me at 877-777-0734. I'm ready to go. Tell them James Manning, and y'all call Fox and tell them, why don't y'all get Pastor Manning? Okay, all right, Mr. Senator, go ahead.
Some of Carlson's 3 million viewers will be surprised when they tune in tonight, and they'll find their favorite anchor missing. But if you were watching last hour, this is how you learned on Fox of this dramatic decision.
We have some news from within our Fox family. Fox News Media and Tucker Carlson have mutually agreed to part ways. Tucker's last.
I don't believe that. I think that woman lied. Ferris Faulkner is her name. I don't think Tucker said, okay, I'll go my way, you go way. I don't believe that. The Buddy Holly song, you go your way, I'll go my way. Now and forever to the end of time. I think they're lying to us. I think that woman, I think you were lying to us, Ferris. Anyway, go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
Show was this past Friday. We want to thank Tucker Carlson for his service to the network as a host.
Well, then why you firing him, woman? Why you firing him? Oh, thank you for his service. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer. I'm sorry for interrupting.
To that as a long-term contributor.
And our CNN media analyst, Sarah Fisher. Sarah, just the way that was read right there, Harris Faulkner reading that on the air very calmly, very quickly, very dispassionately. Have you learned anything in the minute since we've learned this big news to the big question, which is why?
All right, well, let me. All right, okay, question. You leave that, Mr. Engineer. I have this. Well, I guess you can't bring up the article and leave that. Drop that, and let me try to answer what John King's response to his question, right, about the why. Now, I have my own theory about why Tucker got canned, got the boot. And I have my theory, and I'll give it to you in a few moments, what's going to happen to Fox as a result of giving Tucker the boot, unless they hire me. If they hire me, then, Anyway, it says here, did you find it, Mr. Engineer, the article? It says here that Tucker Carlson's vulgar, offensive message about colleagues helped seal his fate at Fox News. That headline is a flat-out lie. But anyway, here's what they're selling to people. Several weeks ago, as Fox News lawyers prepared for a courtroom showdown with Dominion voting systems, they presented Tucker Carlson with what they thought was good news. They had persuaded the court to redact from a legal filing the time he called a senior Fox executive the C word, according to people familiar with the matter. Mr. Carlson, Fox News' most watched prime time host, wasn't impressed. He told his colleagues that he wanted the world to know what he had said about the executive in a private message that the people said. Mr. Carlson said comments he made about former President Donald Trump. I hate him passionately. That were in the documents were said during a momentary spasm of anger, while his dislike of his executives was deep and enduring. So, translation, in case you're having trouble with my bumbling reading, is Tucker Carlson said, I want the world to know I called this woman. That's, the C word. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, Bill O'Reilly had several, a multitude of lawsuits against him of sexual harassment, and Bill O'Reilly used to bring out a stallion of blondes. Yeah, I'm from Bill O'Reilly. That boy had a segment of his show. We'd bring out 3 blonde women. They'd be sitting across the table. It looked like a stallion, looked like a pimp's stallion of horses, women. He'd talk to them and everything. Anyway, they canned him. But all of this going on between women and Roger Ailes was as unattractive as Roger Ailes. He was accused. What's going on over there at Fox after they do news? It's all about sex. Anyway, Mr. Engineer, bring up the I want to read the rest of this. It says, so the messages were part of a trove of emails and texts from Fox executives and hosts that were made public as a result of Dominion's defamation lawsuit. The voting machine company accused Fox Network of airing false claims by hosts and guests that Dominion helped rig the outcome of the 2020 U.S. presidential election in favor of Joe Biden, my time Biden. Fox News parent corporation Fox Corp last week agreed to pay $787.5 million to settle the dispute. On Monday, Mr. Carlson's famously combative stance towards members of the Fox management and other colleagues caught up with him as the network abruptly announced he was parting ways with them just minutes after informing Mr. Carlson of the change. So you can see that there's a lot there. And I'm not going to read all of this. You don't want to hear about it anyway. And I don't want to read it. There are a couple of things. One is everybody's trying to figure out what happened. I think, and Tucker may have called the woman the C word, and they may have done it a number of times, and probably some other things worse than that, maybe, if you can find something worse than that. And they're on MSNBC, they're absolutely going through conniptions over there about how glad they are that Tucker is gone. But I think that Fox is going to come to regret losing Tucker. Now, they lost Glenn Beck, and they kept right on steaming along. Glenn Beck was you remember him going back at the Tea Party, I remember him. And then they lost Bill O'Reilly, right? And that's how Tucker came to his power, and at 8 o'clock, that all coveted powerful spot at 8 o'clock. But Glenn Beck had a daytime show that was, he was like holding college classes, and he was mega. And Bill O'Reilly was mega. And they kept, steaming along. But the point is, the difference between Tucker Carlson and Glenn Beck and Bill O'Reilly, they were just good entertainers. And people liked them. But Tucker was about politics and about a direction in which he wanted, I think, to take America. I've heard reports that Tucker Carlson will call up people like Kevin McCarthy and say, if you don't give us those tapes, I'll go on the air and I'll crush you. I will crucify you. I will run stories on you, will make you like nothing. And I understand he did that to governors. He did that to senators. He did that to congressmen. He did that to a lot of people. Everybody on his show, from what I heard, now this is what I heard, is hearsay, it may not be true. A lot of people on this show didn't want to be on there, but he told me, you're going to come on my show, you're going to give me the time I want, and if you don't, I'll go on the air and I will excoriate you on the air. That's what I heard he did. And he was powerful. Tucker was powerful. He was very powerful. So I don't know if he did that, but Bill O'Reilly was not about that, and neither was Glenn Beck, and neither was Rush Limbaugh. So I think Tucker's in another category, and I suspect, and then Tucker, the other thing, Fox News didn't have Newsmax or One America News as alternatives, nor did they have the expansion now of TikTok, and moreover, Fox News audience is an age and gray hair audience, and they're not picking up young people. They're just not doing it. So a lot of them are fading out, and Fox News was also about, Tucker was about Trump. Bill O'Reilly and Glenn Beck were not. So I think we're going to see Fox News, and they've got Smartmatic, which is another voting system that is bringing a $2.7 billion lawsuit against Fox Corporation and Fox News. So what I would suggest to you is that Fox is going to regret the day that they have. I think that what Fox News is doing is they're making a transition. Here's what I think, and I could be wrong. I don't think that I am. I think what's happening with Fox News is that they are looking to pick up the Gen Zers through putting out a bone to the LGBTQ and allowing people to now be, broadcasters or anchors that are openly gay, like what's that woman, Rachel Maddow on MSNBC, she's openly gay, or like Don Lemon, who's openly gay on CNN, and Jonathan Capehart, who's openly gay, on MSNBC. I think that Fox News is making a pivot, to go gay, because the LGBTQ is the most powerful, except for me and my Lord. They got power. They're more powerful than the Democrats, more powerful than the Republicans. So that's what I think is happening over there at Fox News. And I think Tucker Carlson was anti-gay all the way, more so than any church you find except ATLAH. And I think that's why they canned him. And they're using this defamation suit with Dominion as a red herring, as a smokescreen to make you think. And that's why they have not disclosed what the real reason is. The real reason is that Fox News is going to go gay. Because if you don't support LGBTQ, you can't survive in America. Not as a mega force, I mean, a broadcast like mine, if I could get, anyway, I think I've said enough. This engineer, take me out of this before I get into some kind of trouble with Facebook. Or YouTube, for that matter.